We're going to be in conversation with the amazing Bharatanatyam dancer, choreographer, teacher Pavitra Bhat. And we're going to be discussing his production, Palini, The Protector, which premieres on Chalet.com. There couldn't be a more relevant time for Palini to, premiere in, during Navarathri and especially during this pandemic. So just give me a second. Yeah, there could be have been a better time for Palini to premiere, and we're really looking forward to that. We're going to be talking to Pavitra about what went into the choreography of Palini. Palini was, for those who don't know, originally conceived for the Natyarangam edition under the umbrella of the Devi Bharatam series. And over the last 1 year since its premiere, it has sort of taken on paths and directions of its own, like typically how a work that travels with the creative person takes. And we're going to be talking to Pavitra about that too. But I'm going to tell you all a little story that today, just as I was gearing up for this interview, I thought about when I had first met Pavitra. And I remember that about 7 years ago, Aalaap used to have an initiative called Humans of the Arts, where we would interview people on the human side of the artist. And I remember that for Pavitra, we had asked him a question: do you cry? And I read the beautiful story that he shared. I mean, I still had tears in my eyes when I read it this afternoon. And the story was about how in Pavitra, do you want to share that story?
I don't mind. Hello to everybody. Thank you, first of all, Akila, first of all, to have this great conversation, because Palini has been, as you told, after coming into the umbrella of Devi Bharatam, it has taken its own shapes. It's like how a river starts and then it just makes its own way, and then it reaches the ocean. So in the same way, very beautiful process of Palini has taken place, and I'm so happy that it's actually taken a place where it's going virtual, which was, so I never expected this will happen.
That's true. None of
Yeah,
us
so
do that.
first, when you had come up with this concept of humans of arts, I was actually in US when you emailed me about this. I was taking a workshop in Detroit, and I was there. I remember when I got your email, I was clueless. What is this about? When I saw just few questions of yours, then I was like, yeah, let us attempt to write about what you have felt. And yes, I remember one incident when you had asked me, what have you ever cried being a man?
Yeah.
So the first time, there are many versions of it, in the sense I have seen. There was one incident when I met with a very bad accident when where my Guruji was driving, and unfortunately on the spot he lost his mother and his chitti also. And then unfortunately I lost my femur bone, and that was broken into three pieces, and then I had a rod there. I had 5 screws, and but I got best of the medical care because uh, my brother is a doctor. So I got best doctors who actually came to help me out with best physiotherapy. I came back.
Right.
It took me 1.5 months to stand back with the walker. And the first thing what happened was, I my mother said I couldn't take my first step forward. Then she just holded my hand, and then she said, you keep your head on the shoulder and then just start walking. I give you confidence. And I cried. I said, this is the best help I can ever get. And I think that was the first thing what happened. There were two things. One, I got my mom's shoulder. Second, I actually started walking. So
Fantastic.
I think that was the best memory I have from the whole incident, and something which gave me a lot of confidence. And what is that feminine energy in various ways?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going
Yeah.
to firstly actually, change gears a little bit, like how Palini has also taken. I'm also going to change my questionnaire a little bit. I'm going to ask
Sure.
you, Pavitra, about the influence of women in your life. Who are the important women in your life, and because this work is essentially about, it celebrates, the feminine energy. And I want you to talk
Yeah,
about the real women in your life who continue to inspire and encourage and motivate you. So,
that's a lovely question. I have been shaped by my mom, I must say. How it comes into the story, my father always used to be in transfer job, and then he went to places. Just once
correct.
in a year, he used to come home. My elder brother has studied in Satyasai Baba's hostel. So he did
Okay.
his schooling there, and then from there he graduated as a medical, as a doctor. Um, my mom and me were used to live together since like many years. We were friends for each other.
Yeah.
So she's the one who actually has molded me, and then she's the one who used to take me to dance class, do her own work, take my practice every day in the evening for 2.5 hours every day, make me study, take my tuitions, every single thing. So I have seen her slog, and I have seen her also how she was strong enough to make me what I am.
Mm.
So I am highly influenced. She was the only one who actually I could see as a Devi. She is the one who took me to my home temple and made me do my daily rituals, I do puja. So I think the best person who has influenced me is my mom, definitely. She is
Yeah.
the one who's put samskara in me,
Right.
whatever I am today.
Right.
So I owe a lot, and even today, whatever she has done for me, it is our responsibility to do it back to our parents.
Absolutely.
So before every performance, before every single thing, there is no day that I talk to her. And now, because of the virtual connections,
Yeah.
uh, because Bombay is in a bad state, so then we have moved to Mangalore some days back, and
Okay.
then me and my wife, we have come to Bangalore because we have to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
because my brother lives in Mangalore,
Okay.
so
Okay.
that is how we are setting the things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So after marriage, my wife has also helped me a lot. So
Absolutely.
these two women, I think, have who have influenced me in a way where
I think we're having some trouble with Pavitra's screen. Mm, I am not sure.
because there has to be one critic who is pinpoints.
Right.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. Now I can hear you. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, there was some
So I
connection.
think, yeah. So I think that's what. So my wife also has influenced me in a way where there should be one critic. I feel always who will always tell you you are good, but you can be better somewhere.
Correct.
A person who is near to you and
But
who looks at something which is very
object.
appropriate from the other side.
Correct. Correct.
So not being judgmental and not being fake about it.
Absolutely.
So I think
Showing
that
us
is where she
mirror, right? Yeah.
helped me.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yes. A
But
very loyal comment about what we've been doing.
yeah.
And then in between all this is my first teacher who has influenced me, my dance teacher, who with whom I have learned for 12 years, Vasanta teacher,
Right.
who 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 has given me so much, who has showered me so many things through dancing,
Right.
who was so sincere that she used to talk to me only in Tamil language, and that's how I could learn a little bit of Tamil, being brought up in Maharashtra and being a Kannadiga.
Okay.
She is the one who's actually taught me a little bit of Tamil.
Right.
So I think these three people have really influenced a lot from the feminine energy point of view.
Absolutely, absolutely. The reason I asked you this question, Pavitra, is also because I was trying to understand as a common person, as a member of the audience, that how does a man, create a production which is essentially centered around the idea of the feminine divine energy, and
Hmm.
how do you kind of do that unless you have, actual connections with that energy, right, so to speak. It's important that you kind of feel it to be able to translate it, right?
Yeah, yeah, very true. I'm spiritually evolved a lot. I
Okay.
love to be in the whole zone of being spiritual. It's
Right.
not just praying God, but it's the
Right.
spiritual energy what I'm talking about. So
Okay.
in whole journey, when I was 3 or 4, I was in the fourth grade
Okay.
when my mom had taken me to one of the spiritual gurus,
Okay.
and she was a Devi Upasaka. She used to worship, and she had given me one Bijaksharam.
Okay.
You will not believe, she gave me when I was in fourth grade, but I used that Bijaksharam when I came to perform Palini. And
Wow.
and I remember because my production Palini has Lalita Tripura Sundari's episode.
Hmm.
The Bijaksharam, what she had given me, was also relating to Lalita Tripura Sundari. This is
Right.
just a this might be just a coincidence,
Yeah.
but remember when she had given me, I was only in fourth grade, so I never read about it.
Right.
In the journey, when I matured, I started thinking about it. What is this Bijaksharam about? What is how do I know more about it? And I started talking to people, and then that that beautiful study what I did, actually I used it when I performed now. And I think somewhere this spiritual energy helped me to bring that tattva of Shakti into my production.
Right.
So, and I have always, when I see Ambar's face, it attracts me. I just get glued to her.
Yeah.
So, I got this opportunity to bring that element into my body as a sculpture, as an alive sculpture. So, I wanted to try to imbibe that energy as much as I can. And what best than doing something which you love to do the most, which is dance, and taking
Right.
that energy, that feminine energy, and performing it.
Right. Beautiful.
Started,
Pavitra. Sorry. Go
uh,
ahead.
uh, interrupt. When we actually came with the whole process of resource process, we had so much material, Akhila. We could have done 3 to 4 productions of Devi.
Yeah.
To take, imbibe, what to do, how to do was the whole thing, which took us 2 months after
Yeah.
collecting the resource.
Correct.
Yeah,
Editing. Yeah.
yeah, editing the whole thing.
Yeah. Pavitra, are you also, you spoke about how you're spiritually inclined, but also are you a religious sort of person as well? Because this work is essentially, layered with religious texts and stuff, right? So, are you also like, and I want to ask you, like, to
Yeah.
work on a production that is inherently like religious in nature, does an artist have to be religious? So that's the other question that I want to ask you. Yeah.
Uh, I think to an extent, yes. But
Right.
for me, way of living is more important. It's how you live.
Okay.
You cannot just sit in front of God and say, I pray to this God, I do this, I do that.
Correct.
But bringing that spirituality in the way of living is what is important.
Right. So
It's, for
important.
example, if you do prayers to Ambal whole day, and evening if you go and fight with a person, that is not the way it is. So for me, that is what is important. When I do the production also, spirituality comes in my dance and not just chanting the mantra or shloka.
Okay.
So that is what I feel it is more important. It gives me a lot of peace.
Right.
Just my practice gives me so much of peace. I think for me, that is my being religious
Yeah.
towards my Bharatanatyam and spirituality of my dance.
Right.
I,
Absolutely. Pavitra, you're also known for for your rigor in dance. I want to ask you a little bit about, especially in the last 6 months. I want to ask you, what has been your routine like in the last like 2 weeks that we've been interacting? Also, I get a feeling that you're so like disciplined. Like you text me in the morning and then you're like not available for some time, and then you're doing your riyas, and then you're like told me to take like a 10-minute nap in the afternoon before you start your classes. I want to know what your schedule is and why have you always been this disciplined? And like you said, this is like your, like almost like they say that this is your karma. I mean, not karma. It's like you basically do your duty, right? And you stick with that habit. So I want you to talk about that actually.
during the virtual uh, my students can answer better than me. But during the virtual time now, it has been very difficult to maintain my routine. Very difficult because it's very difficult to teach online. Like I teach to students from Canada, US, London, Dubai. Then I have a student in Australia. Other than this, I have students of my own in Bombay. So
Wow.
so
Yeah.
so it's very difficult. Luckily, because I've been teaching online to overseas students since long, it was not difficult for me to start thinking on virtual teaching.
Yeah.
There was
Absolutely.
I was already mentally prepared, but still, it's very difficult to uh, teach on a virtual mode in. Uh, I always like to be physical, uh,
Yeah.
teach physically in front
Right.
of each other, face to face. But routine, yes, I always like to be uh, disciplined to at least what I've thought on. Like I have a calendar which will definitely speak about what I'm going to do tomorrow.
Wow.
So like a monthly planner. And if it doesn't go, then somewhere I'm not happy if my schedule doesn't go properly.
Right.
Uh, the other part is that it is completely, it's like a shruti. The shruti is, the lifeline is dance. So it's like your breath. For me, nothing goes out of the dance. If I have time, I will eat. If I have time, I will do this. But my dance schedule should not be
Back to
disturbed.
thank.
Be-
Wow.
because I love my dance the most. If I don't do that, it's of no use. I will be hurting my own soul. That's what I feel. So I think that is very, very important. Now, rigorous dancing practice is important, not necessary. It's all here. So if I give proper timing to every single things, it is very important to be disciplined, as you asked me a question. So morning when I get up, my routine is, after my morning daily routine, I take some time for my riyaz, yes, which gives me a lot of happiness. It might be whatever I want to do with my dance. It might be just my adavus or just a section of a dance choreography, but I need my time with my body. And then I have my early morning online classes. Of course, they are there. That's one side of the story.
Yeah.
But then comes my cooling down time. Then maybe I'll watch something online, because I also love to hear good music, good
Yeah.
Carnatic.
Okay. Lovely.
I listen to some of my favorite singers, and then I go to my lunchtime. Then I definitely need a nap because I'm so tired bodily. Then
Yeah.
evening, you need to again teach a lot, and in between all this, you need to always give time to your parents, your wife.
Of course.
But yes, as usual, as every house, I do listen from my parents and my wife that I don't give time.
That's the standard complaint from everybody. Yeah. That Pavitra, at some point you mentioned, you used the word like dance is like, listening to your soul. Like, when did you
Yeah,
actually, have this sort of this moment of epiphany, like they say, when you knew that dance was going to be like your soulmate?
very good. It's a very beautiful question, because I never used to understand this point
Right.
till, I should say, this is very, very recent, when I dived really deep after my first production called Sriranga,
Hmm.
for which I worked for almost a year.
Okay.
This was about 4 or 5 years back.
Okay.
Before this, I used to only practice and just give time to my
Right.
dance. But when I started understanding dance more was when I started understanding scriptures more.
Okay.
The beauty is not only when you dance,
Right.
but when you study something for your dance, and when you dive deep. So I started understanding the beautifying factor of what makes your dance beautiful, and what gives you that aura around you. A well-read dancer, or a dancer who can show his aura not only by being on stage, but that riyaz what you do towards.
Thing
And
too.
that first time used to give me so much of happiness, because even if you come to one single step step of satisfaction after doing 10 steps, it gives you so much of happiness.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Pavitra, yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
I think that's when I actually started working on it more, because end of the day it is your soul satisfaction. You just come like a body with a soul. That's it. The soul just enters your body, and then if that soul doesn't get happiness, it's of
Right,
no use.
right. So I just noticed a comment that I just want to share with you. Indrani Parthasati says, saw your outstanding performance as Brihannala and Anita Guha's um, Virata Parvam,
Virata Parva.
Virata
Virata Parva.
Parvam
Yeah.
online. Can you please share your experience doing that one? Maybe we could talk about this and then I can kind of, that way it becomes more interactive. So,
About Brigannala?
yeah, could you talk about that? Yeah,
Oh, lovely. Anita Guha ma'am has, I've been working with her since many years, and it has been a great journey.
I
I've
know.
learned, knowing unknowingly, I have learned so much. हम हिंदी में बोलते हैं ना, खेल खेल में सीख लिया.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's
And
been that process. So learning Brigannala, it was very challenging. First of all, it actually goes with the topic too, because a male body doing a feminine role uh,
fantastic.
is so difficult. And we being men, we are so used to dance the open up. We
Yeah,
don't have, we
yeah,
don't,
yeah.
we
And
just have a, so free to dance, but when you get into that female attire, it's so difficult. I started respecting female dancers much more than I used to respect, much more, because it is very difficult to dance with talai saman, with that long hair. You have so much jewelry around, and when you open your hands for alaripu, it is so difficult, I felt. So it took me a lot of time to learn that character role, and thankfully Anita auntie loved it, and people also gave a lot of good comments. It came out very nice. The whole experience was beautiful, very beautiful.
Beautiful. Pavitra, I want to ask you, that this is a question that I've been asking a lot of artists I've been, talking to. See, your schedule is so tight. It's so packed, like teaching, your own practice, and of course, home chores, home duties, relationships. Um, how do you enjoy that amidst all this, like everyday chaos? How do you actually manage to kind of quieten your mind to actually create new work? Like choreography requires silence and requires research and requires a sense of immersion, right? And you talked also about how you enjoy that process of when dance became a little more than about actually deep diving, right? I want to ask
Yeah.
you, how so do you enjoy choreography, and how do you manage to actually do that amidst what seems like a fairly packed schedule, and how do you kind of blank out of the so much other stuff right in the head? Like, how do you blank out?
um, so you, that is where the planning comes, I guess. You
Okay,
need to divide your time. uh, for me it can be different for different people.
correct.
I have own you need to just cut your mind off and just come into this fresh approach towards, it's like, even if I'm doing my morning dosa today, evening if I want to do a new recipe today, I cannot say I have to forget doing dosa and I have to do a new recipe today. It's
Correct.
just an example. So for me it has always been like that. Being in a place like Bombay, if I'm silent, then it will be silence always, I feel, because you don't have anything else. Like, you need your dance, right? So if you just be silent for a while, I won't have any sabhas to go and watch a performance. I won't have anything else which I can do which will connect to my dance.
Yeah.
For me, it is very important to connect with my own dancing, with my own practicing, which gives me a lot of happiness. And on the other side, I have my own silent time when I'm not in this other zone of dancing at all, where I do not go to see Sabha programs, or I'm not in connection with any of those dance performances. I'm just thinking about my own work, and that's it. So I think for me it has been very easy to maybe divide in between the other uh, uh, noisy things happening around.
Right. What about social media? Since we're talking about noisy things happening around, are
Yeah.
you one of those who feels that? Do you think social media is a boon or a bane, Pavitra? Like, do you think what has been, because in lockdown, like social media has been like buzzing, right?
Yeah.
What is your take on it?
Social media is a boon, yes, but everything has its merits, demerits. So how much to take, what to take, when to take, why to take, these things are there when it comes to social media. And who wants to see what will definitely see. Who doesn't want to see something will just say hi and just leave. So because I've also come across friends uh, who very sincerely who have been we have been discussing on these matters,
Right.
a group of dance friends from Mumbai. And then it's what uh, there's so much happening in social media, but there are young dancers who really want to showcase themselves,
Right.
and this is one very good platform for them to just dance,
Correct.
who have never got a chance to showcase themselves. And if in that uh, zone, if they feel, if they get better with every performance,
Why
they
not?
will they will definitely gather some audience for themselves in future.
Correct. Correct.
And there are very serious dancers who might just show themselves for 1 month, one performance, but they might come with great things and people will wait to watch them.
Right.
So there are so many ifs and buts and merits, demerits of social media. I
Right.
have how much you have to give time to be in social media, it is completely left to in person, up to you.
Yeah.
So uh, and so for me it has been always been a boon, I feel. It
No,
is a
no.
personal zone how much you want to take it. If you do not want to take it, you can just be behind and just watch and be happy, do your own work.
Right. That's a very simple but an evolved way where, in some ways it's profound because it places the onus of choice on yourself, right? You have to like figure out how to use it. So I think that's an interesting takeaway.
Watch something, you know what is good, what is not so good.
Right.
That's it. You just have to prepare your mind. I'm going to see something which might be not very good, but you
Right.
just appreciate that person is giving their effort and time. End of the
Right.
day, Akhila, if nobody wants to project themselves bad, nobody
Of
comes
course.
on stage or at a given space that okay, today I'm going to dance or sing bad. Nobody will come.
Mhm.
Everybody wants to showcase themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's okay. Let them showcase what they want to show and be happy. Let their soul be happy. And then we all just watch. And if you do not want to watch, just leave it. That's it. Very simple.
Right. Pavitra, are there days when you don't dance and you don't feel happy? Is like dance and happiness, do they have a direct connection?
No, no, no. There, if at all, like yesterday, I had a very, very beautiful dance festival where I danced in Chaudaya Hall in Bengaluru for a very, very big online festival which is coming up in next few months. So I was very tired, but it doesn't mean that I didn't do riyaz today. I did my morning riyaz. So so which is yes, but there are days when I'm lazy and I just don't want to physically do something.
Correct.
So I might just watch some dance or just listen to music, or I also meditate every day. So I might just sit on in some meditation time. And yeah.
Lovely, beautiful. Pavitra, now I want to talk to you about Palini the Protector.
Yes.
You told me that since last August, it has taken on it's taken on like a river flows, just
Yeah.
flowed in different directions. I want
Yeah.
you to talk about on 24th, where it premieres on chalet.com. I
Yeah.
want you to give us a sneak peek on what to expect, so we know that this is the construct of the production.
Sure. Palini the Protector. Um, so it's as I told you, there are three parts, very beautifully
Hmm.
done. It starts as a wholesome, where you show what is Devi, what is Lalita,
Hmm.
how she is,
Hmm.
how you worship her, and how she nurtures, how she is a mother, how she is in different forms, how she is beautiful, how she is the one whom you can just stare for hours together.
Mm.
This is an introduction towards that Devi. And then we start from the one of the most, believe me, I never knew about Abhirami Andadi. I never knew who is Abhirami Bhattar. But when I opened the text to know about him, Sudha Sheshayan ma'am introduced me to this whole story. And then a wide ocean. It was just open for me. What to take, what not to take. It was like that.
Wow.
And then, so it goes to a place where you say how she protects to one devotee, where she gives darshan to only one person and not the whole village or whole clan or nobody. She just comes to protect that one ardent devotee of hers.
Wow.
So as a to one devotee.
It's fantastic.
And but her aura will be seen by everybody, but she won't come in person to protect.
Actually,
It's a
yeah.
very beautiful. Imagine
So,
a, a guy who has never grown after the age of 10 mentally
mhm.
because he saw his mother and he's glued to him all the time. Every single lady who comes to the temple is Ambal for him. So he gives kungumam, he gives flower, he gives pongal, he gives every single thing. He does upacharam for them. And then, but once he sees darshana of his mother Ambal, Abhirami, he forgets the world. And that's what is the twist in the story, where king comes to ask him and the story goes on. I don't want to reveal the story to
Yeah,
now
yeah,
to
yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
you.
So
And
that's
then this is the whole Abhirami Andadi episode, how Subramanya Bhattar gets the new name called Abhirami Bhattar, and for what?
okay. Interesting. Yeah.
So after this, it goes to another episode whereby Palini as a protector to the whole universe.
Universe. Okay. Wow.
One place where she is protector for the one person, and then how she's a protector for the whole universe.
Right.
So this is where we come to the Bhandasura Vadam episode, where we have taken excerpts from Lalita Sahasranamam.
Okay.
So how she is Lalita Tripura Sundari, how she guides the devatas to come together so that she becomes a bigger energy, and then how she uh, kills Bhandasura with just one humkara. She just does and then that's it.
Wow.
So this very beautiful music, very beautifully sung by Satish Venkatesh from Delhi,
Okay.
fantastic vocalist, and great musicians. As I told you, Shruti Sagar and KP Nandini.
That's me, Dr.
Um,
Sita Hasudevan.
fantastic Konnakol by Satish Krishnamurthy, my mridangist, with whom I'm working since 15 years now,
Okay.
from Bombay. Uh, he's done the Konnakol sequences, and then of course Vasu Anna's great help with the music. So after the theme of Palini as protector to the universe,
Right.
it goes to Palanam, the Paripalanam for the kingdom, where she comes as protector
Right.
to Chatripati Shivaji in the form of Bhavani,
Ah.
whereby there is a sword which is given with blessings of Bhavani Mate, and the sword is called Bhavani sword.
Ah.
There is a
Yeah.
there's a misconception
Bhavani
that
Talwar.
Bhavani her yeah, exactly. So there's a misconception somewhere that people say Bhavani herself came and then she gave the talwar to Shivaji, but
Ah.
the talwar was named
Bhavani Talwar. Oh, I think this screen has frozen, I think.
name Bhavani Talwar, but it was not herself who came to give the. That's how she blesses.
Right. Sorry, I lost you in between, Pavitra.
Yeah.
No problem, no problem. Okay. And then you had also shared with me an excerpt from Nari, right?
Yeah.
So is that the finale?
No. So after the Bhavani Talwar episode, and
Mhm.
there's a very beautiful coincidence what which happened was it see when you really work for something from heart, I have experienced this connection somewhere. I connect a lot with the universal energy. I connect a lot, Akhila. Somewhere something is there. अगर आप मन से कुछ चाहो तो वो जरूर होता है. If sincere efforts go behind it. I had to submit my this synopsis of Palini like a day. I just had a day and I had not got anything to show about Shivaji. I didn't know anything. I get a call from Kolhapur. That's a very beautiful incident. But I got a call from Kolhapur for an admission for my Bharatanatyam class from a boy. He says, "Sir, I am want to take admissions from you. I'm doing my thesis in. I am not a dancer, but I would like to learn from you. At present, I'm busy with my thesis on Shivaji Maharaj poetries.
Oh,
Can you believe it? One day before, I said,
unbelievable.
"What?"
It's like Palini coming and like sending you a message, huh?
And then it just happened, and he in a day he just gives me this poetry which speaks exactly what I wanted, which speaks about you give me this talwar, O mother, and I'm going to conquer, and I'm going to be Maratha ruler. This is what the song says, that you are Bhavani, you are this, you are that, and you have protected the whole clan. Always protect me with this Bhavani talwar. This is what the poetry says. It is exactly what I wanted.
Beautiful.
So after this three beautiful episodes, we come to the contemporary level, where there's a very beautiful poem which we have interspersed with the Tilana, and it
Oh,
says there is another thing. I was searching for a poetry again in Hindi,
mm.
and recently when I was reading newspaper, I never read a Hindi newspaper. I just been somewhere and I read a Hindi newspaper, and I come across a poetry which won first prize in a poetry competition.
gosh.
And I take this poetry which speaks about women. It says, "कैसे कह दो तुम कुछ नहीं हो, तुम सब कुछ हो." How
Wow.
can I say you are nothing when you are everything? ज्ञान जो चाहो सरस्वती तुम हो, मान जो चाहो लक्ष्मी तुम हो, अपमानों का साया जब चाहे छाहे, काली दुर्गा का रूप तुम ही हो.
Wow. So beautiful.
And in the Anupallavi it says, when I have everything with me, why do we all forget that I have the feminine energy in that form in front of me? Why do we forget to understand my our sisters or mothers or wives or all this feminine energy around us? Somewhere they also give us knowledge. They also are part of the money what we earn. They are also one who protect us. So
Nurture.
yeah, very beautiful poetry.
And also the
So
whole idea of shadow, right? They shadow us around, right?
yes, absolutely. The
Chaya.
unknown energy,
Yeah.
the unknown energy. Uh, we understand the importance, as it is said. No? We understand the importance when they are not with us.
Yeah.
Is that shadow? So,
Absolutely.
so a very beautiful poetry, and I think that's the best way to end the production.
No, for sure. Is there any
Yeah.
way you can just do a little excerpt for us, like a little Abhinaya Pavitra, like a just a 1 minute
Um,
from any of the sections? It would be fantastic.
okay, I will try.
Huh.
I just narrate uh, the poetry.
Okay.
So it says, hmm, ज्ञान जो चाहो Saraswati tumho. Now here the mother says, mother comes and says, study, just study now. So how I'm relating Saraswati
Okay.
to
To the, yeah,
how she is protecting, being a Palini to the child.
child,
Manajo, if you want pride, then you need
right?
money. Manajo chaho, Lakshmi tumho. When she gets married,
Yeah,
so then he gets Lakshmi to the
yeah,
house.
yeah. Status, yeah,
अपमानों का छाया जब चाहे. When there is so much of uh, negativity going around, there are so many people protecting you as Durga around you. It might be your sister, it might be your mother, it might be your wife, or another person who is a lady around you who might come just to protect you. And then you all come to me and just be with me always.
right. Wow, so beautiful.
Yeah,
Lovely. You know,
yeah,
it's I want to ask you this question, Pavitra, that this work essentially on the feminine energy, right?
yeah.
And it's perceived and created and choreographed by a male. I keep
Yes.
wondering that what is that male like looking through the lens of a man? Does it change anything? Like, do you think that the same production, when perceived through the eyes of a woman, would this is just I'm just like just thinking aloud, would you think that it would take on a different kind of a dimension, or if or not, this is just an open-ended sort of kind of a
Uh, it is how you take it, Akhila. I think um, how you are evolved. I think
right,
somewhere, I think somewhere the samskara and how with whom you get along, who are your friends. I think these
yeah,
things will matter a lot. How much do you have space for that feminine energy in your heart?
right,
You
finally it's
look.
like about,
It's
yeah,
personal, I feel so. And somewhere in all these things, you need to also give a social message and educate people. It's
right,
not only just being on stage, it is also how much you take and you educate people, especially in this era where women somewhere are unsafe or they feel scared of things. So uh, we need to give them more strength and power so that they are more confident. Of course,
right,
they are confident. It's not they are not confident,
yeah, but
but
kind
we should give them that extra power so that they know, yes, there is somebody for us who who we can always rely on.
right, right. Pavitra, do you believe that you know, by dance has the potential to kind of look around and take look at like social issues that plague society, and is it possible to create work that makes the work that makes dance accessible to people who probably don't necessarily access Bharatanatyam? Do you feel like as an artist you'd like to do that, and have you in the past worked on social issues and have translated that into dance?
I did work during my college days. Not after that, I have never worked on a social issue.
Right,
Take social issue into dance because I I came up as, to be frank, I came into performing field quite late.
right,
But God's grace, with my Guruji's help, I could perform a lot.
right,
Uh, so it took me time to understand my roots of Bharatanatyam once I came into the performance field. When I was in Mumbai, I never knew there is something called a 1.5 hour recital.
yeah,
I did not know that you need to perform live maximum times.
right,
So so we were always performing for half an hour in Mumbai. So it was quite okay.
correct.
So when I stepped into the southern part of India, for me, it took time to understand the whole scenario of doing in sabhas and things like that. So it was, so I was not in a zone to even understand about social message, a dance which will carry a social message.
Correct, correct.
So it needs experience. Then
Yeah,
I
yeah,
also across a lot of good dancers whom I used to watch during season time.
Right.
And then I actually understood, yes, actually this can be done too in dancing.
Correct.
So in this uh, uh, path of my dancing, I have graduated from the Mumbai University, and in my college, when they had an alumni meet,
Mhm.
opportunity to work on a subject, protect animals.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
that was which was one topic I think I worked on social message just to protect animals.
Mhm.
After that, I have never worked.
Okay.
Uh, Working on Palini only gave me this beautiful time to work with this Tillana and a
Right.
poetry.
Yeah.
Uh, I think it somewhere it helps to connect new audience for Bharatanatyam or dancing, and you
Definitely.
also give a message.
Right.
Because there is one part of audience which feels हमको ये नहीं समझता. We don't understand what you're dancing.
Yeah.
So, not leaving your kinetics of Bharatanatyam, you can definitely touch the topic and create an awareness. So, you have an audience joining you who also know dance now, who also would love to come to watch you because you're giving them some message.
No, absolutely. So, for
Yeah,
example, Pavitra, like when you told me this episode on this contemporary woman, right? And because
yeah,
it's in Hindi and it's a language that I grew up in, because I grew up in small town Maharashtra. So for
huh,
me, instantly, like I feel like more than the Abhirami Andadi, for me, the because of the language connect, I
yes,
feel like I can access this episode like much better.
yes, yes,
So I think
yes,
like the advantage of working with different languages and like social contemporary ideas is it accesses a new audience, like you rightly said.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Right.
And I think we being young dancers who have established in their margam zone,
Correct.
because my guruji always told me कि you explore things. It's not wrong to explore things,
Right.
but first you make your base perfect.
Strong. Yeah.
आप
Correct.
आपके बेस को परफेक्ट कर लो, फिर आपको आप जिधर भी जाओगे आप भटकोगे नहीं.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
won't just, yeah, you won't go here and there. You know you have to come back to this.
Correct.
So I think now this is the time when we can explore because
Yeah.
you know what is your base.
Correct. Correct.
So I think
Yeah.
that's a
Also,
perfect
I
message.
think from an audience's perspective, also, the audience also has become very, I think because of social media, right? The
Yeah,
lines have really blurred between like, oh, I
yeah,
only watch Bharatanatyam or I only watch
yeah,
Kathak. Those lines have
yeah,
kind, you know,
yeah.
opened up, I feel, in a certain
The
way.
virtual media also gave me an opportunity to work on two ghazals
Oh,
recently.
wow.
I worked on two ghazals in the month of March, which are related to the pandemic. Uh, Great time exploring that. So I
Which
think,
one was it, Pavitra?
sorry,
Which ghazal was it?
Jagjit Singh's ghazal.
Oh,
Um, um, Now I don't recollect it because I think I'm in the Palini zone now. But it said चिड़ियों को पत्ते बच्चों को गुड़धानी दे मौला.
oh, wow.
It said, uh, let this, oh my God, oh my dear God, you please let this whole, let me see that sunshine again, whom I see as sunshine.
Yeah,
मुझे आप उस sunshine के जैसे हो, सूरज के जैसे हो. Let the whole universe again see that you come and give
yeah,
good jaggery to the kids. That's a minimalistic sweet what you can spread
yeah.
among these. उनको
Beautiful.
कुछ तो मीठा दो. And you again give this चिड़ियों को food grains to the birds. It's basically you please come back. We pray to you and you shower your blessings on us.
Lovely. Beautiful.
To the pandemic.
Particularly relevant. Yeah. Absolutely. Pavitra, there's one question from someone now from Apeksha, and she says, "What do you think about dance as a medium to put seeds of feminism in society?
First of all, dance is a medium humanity. For me, more than feminism, it's about
Right.
humanity. And yes, it's a very good way of bringing awareness to the general audience.
Right. No, for
And,
sure.
yes, it will definitely help. In all this, somewhere we also have to work little bit towards good lyrics. Just dancing good won't help, or
Right.
just good lyrics won't help. There has to be
Right.
collaboration of good music, good
Absolutely.
musicians, and good dancing, and well thought how you will spread that message. उसको आप कैसे उनके दिमाग तक पहुंचाओगे.
Okay.
So it is
Yeah.
very important. So
Absolutely.
it will definitely help slowly, but definitely I think it will help to get in that awareness.
Right.
Need
Um,
of the hour.
Pavitra, I'm just going to ask you one last question before we sign off. And that's
Yes.
really how you're a sort of a role model and inspiration for so many young dancers, younger than you dancers, actually. You're also like young dancer. So I want to
Yeah.
ask you about what are you, according to, if I were to ask you to give me three like intrinsic values that you hold very close to when it comes to dance, and that you think that youngsters, young dancers must really sort of hold on to, what would be those values for you?
I think number one is being sincere to yourself, uh, highly focused, highly focused. I literally say, let the world do whatever they want.
Right.
But if you are not focused to your own self, it's of no use. You cannot look back and say, I could have done this. So, highly focused and disciplined, definitely, yes. So, I think
Beautiful.
these three things are very important. Riyaz is number one. If you do, if you do not put proper fertilizer, the seed will never grow up as a good tree. So,
Okay.
and next is, as I told you, being disciplined and your uh, see being humble, uh, being respectful towards your guru. All this is not even in these three. That is the base.
That's so
I
any
think
hygiene. Yeah.
it's totally it's like there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Being disciplined and to whatever you do is very important.
No, absolutely. It's a fantastic. I think in a certain way, Pavitra, I think even if it's not dance, I think these three are qualities that are intrinsic for anything that you do. Like if you
Yes,
pursue anything, I think like singular focus,
yes,
sincerity, and
yes,
discipline. These three things that you said are absolutely
yes,
crucial. It's been
yes, yes.
fantastic speaking with you, Pavitra. For those who are listening in and who will listen in tomorrow when America wakes up and people from other parts of the world listen to this conversation, please, we're going to be sharing the link to chalet.com. It's available on Pavitra's page as well as on the Aalaap Facebook and Instagram pages. Please do go log in and book your tickets because this is a
Yeah.
production you don't want to miss. And he's spoken so beautifully about it. It seems like a beautiful production. And I think it's also great for people to, buy a ticket and go watch a performance that an artist has so beautifully conceived and created amidst so much chaos and madness and teaching and giving so much. I think it's the least we can do. So thank you, Pavitra, for sharing so many fantastic stories. My favorite story right now is going to be the Chatripati Shivaji story, where the student
Oh,
from Kolhapur called you. Like I cannot agree with you more about how if you believe in something, the universe will conspire to make it happen.
yeah,
And I think
yeah,
you have, that is something that we all need to, especially during the pandemic, really believe more and more
yeah.
that all this energy that we get today, we spoke about that the energy that we are working
Yes,
on, we're all functioning on some strange kind of energy. We don't know where it's coming from, right?
true,
You're working
true.
so hard. I'm working.
Absolutely,
So everybody's working hard. Uh,
absolutely.
and I think Palini is protecting us and ensuring
Yes,
that that
yes.
everything is whatever. Thank you so much, Pavitra, and good
Thank
luck with
you.
everything that you do. Bye bye.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Ashwini.
everybody who
Lovely
joined.
talking to you.
Likewise. Bye bye.